The Celtics outscored the Magic by 23 in that third quarter. They were down by 2 at the half. The defending champs advanced to the second round with the win over the Orlando Magic, winning the series 4-1. Welcome to Game Time, presented by Kia. That's Channing Frye, that's Vince Carter. I'm Chris Miles, and we can start with that pivotal third quarter. The Boston Celtics, for the first time this season, didn't hit a three in the first half. You know how they responded, Channing? By shooting 72% from three-point range in the second half, hitting 13 of 18 shots from long range.
The best teams adjust to halftime. The best teams have usually great third quarters. You look at traditionally your Warriors, your better team, Milwaukee Bucks, the Nuggets. Just looking at these second half stats, they just turned it to game time. Scoring 73 points in a half. Like, this is, it's, to me, it just shows the level that they're playing, even though they are still a little banged up. But to get to the free throw line, like that, to get that many shots up, and then to start being that hot from three, it's impossible to guard them when they're doing all that. And then on top of that, you want to make them shoot twos, and they're shooting 62%. So what are you? It's just, they are just such a good team. It's just a pleasure to watch them play basketball.
Your superstars were superstars. And you said at halftime, we didn't like the position we were in. They were down 2. All of a sudden, you get 19 and 15 points from your two stars, and you hold the Magic to 13 points. So not only did they crash out offensively, defensively, they locked up. Paolo gets in foul trouble, picks up that 5th foul, has to sit and watch and just kind of watch the destruction of his team because they couldn't score.
When I look at Jason Tatum, when we used to have these shows in the playoffs with him in 2020 or 2021, you would see the shots taken to get to 35 points, right? He took 16 shots to get there, 10 assists and 8 rebounds. It's just as he progresses, more efficient to get the scoring and more assists on a consistent basis, Vince.
That's what it is. I think patience. The one thing about Jason Tatum that used to frustrate me is he used to let guys off the hook. He would settle for the contested three when Jason Tatum has the ability to get by anybody, draw fouls, get to his spot, and pull up shots. And now he's not forcing it. Because why? Because he knows he has all of this help behind him. He can defer to Jaylen Brown. He has a guy by the name of Peyton Pritchard who can get going at any point. He has shooting all over the floor, and that's why, like we've talked about for the Magic, shooting is so important. Just having guys, even if they're not hitting shots, the threat of knocking down threes is so important because it opens the floor, and as a defender, you don't want to get too far separated from a shooter because they have the capability of knocking down shots.
Channing, when I think back to Tatum's rookie season, right, and I think, Eastern Conference Finals, he dunks on LeBron. You're like, that's an incredible moment for a young player. Now we fast forward 2 trips to the finals, 1 championship, I believe it's 5 Eastern Conference Finals, and making a run this year. What do you make of the way Tatum and Brown both have grown and where they are in a game like this where they're down 2 at the half and they're like, we got this?
Well, number one, you got to give that whole organization, the Celtics organization, credit, right, for believing in these 2 players, for surrounding them consistently with other winners, right? That's one thing that they always do is just win. And again, I think you look at Tatum's development. I think for his career, we're going to look back at last year's championship and go, that was a turning point to where he goes, oh, man, I could trust everyone, and then when you need me, I could be the best player in the court. But that doesn't mean me score 40, right? Somebody's going to force me to score. But I could get you 8 to 10 assists. I could get you, 10 to 15 rebounds. I can defend at a high level. And I think what he's fallen in love with is the process of winning, the journey of winning. And when you have an organization that believes in 2 players like that, and both of them take chances, like say, hey, you got the best matchup, you go. That is uncommon, and everyone's trying to replicate that around the league because it's like a Steph and Clay type thing.
And his willingness to talk about it in interviews. He said it. He said, we're champions. We understand how this works. We understand the dynamic, what needs to be done. Like, he's gone through that process, and now it makes sense. So now every playoff series, the game slows down. We don't have to get rattled because we know what it's about and how we need to go about our business.
In that quote, he said, "We're champions. They forced us to play a different way, and we figured it out." And here's the thing. They only took 6 3-pointers in that first half, right? 0 for 6. But then you go, they're used to taking 53s a game. So how did they adjust to what Orlando was doing defensively? Like, how did they figure that out?
Ball movement, but the Stars decided to be Stars. Like, they did share the ball, and all of these things, that's fine. But they got stops, they got in transition first to get easy buckets, and everything set up from there. They're going to continue to move the ball because they have so many guys that can score. Yes, they were dynamic in that third quarter, 19 and 15, respectively, from Tatum and as well as Brown, but you still get shooting. You still have shooting. You have some bench guys. Pritchard had 8 points in the second half alone. So you have guys that still spread the floor, and they believe in their offense and what they have. So they don't get rattled.
Channing, we look to the next round for the Boston Celtics. It's the 4th consecutive year that they've advanced to the second round of the postseason. They'll face the winner of the Knicks and the Pistons. How do the Celtics match up against those two particular teams?
Well, the Celtics are champions, so everybody is trying to match up with them. To me, I think obviously this is a very close series. I'll just quickly talk about the Knicks. The Knicks built their team to match up to Boston.
Right.
I mean, that's just a fact, right? It's almost, I don't want to say a carbon copy, but it is the Knicks version of what Boston is doing. They're better offensively this year. For me, I think Detroit has just figured out who they are. So getting to a second round, I mean, even not getting swept, winning 2 games is a huge jump. And people want to say, oh, well, we should win this series. These young guys are doing above and beyond what is the next step. So for me, even having the opportunity to play against a Boston is only going to make Detroit even better, one of my favorite teams to watch. But I think if the Knicks do win, that's going to be just a bare-knuckle fight of whose style is going to win. Are you going to switch? Who's going to be the weak man out? Because that's what we've been seeing in these playoffs. Who is your weak link? And I'm going to go at him until the defense collapses and kick out for threes and push the pace.
And to the point that Shannon's making, right, those two teams are in a physical matchup, have to play at least one more game. For the Celtics, they get to get some rest and get even healthier. And at this time of year, seeing how healthy the Celtics are and having this extra time, it seems like a big benefit for them.
Absolutely. And there again, just the experience of going through it, making it to the mountaintop, understanding the quicker we can get the series over, the more rest we get to be healthier moving forward, and we can dominate because they have the tools, they have all of the firepower. Is just keeping everybody healthy because you're going to get knick-knack. Everybody gets hurt. Everybody is hurt. You're going to have they did what they did. Drew Holiday did not play for 2 games. Here's another shooter, defender, and a ball handler and a facilitator.